I am wounded inside. I enjoy life, but I don't enjoy it fully.
Even still, after all these years.
Even still, I am blessed that I am now born in December 22. Now it's December 92. That's 91 years old. I'm still here.
Yesterday was your 91st birthday.
Yeah, I see myself healthy. And somehow I feel that the world wants me to tell these stories, and that's what I will be doing now. I am going to write.
That's fabulous, and you're such a great writer and an artist. And one question I have is, having been back to Normandy again, because you've been there a couple times over the last 6 years. You've been there, I think, 2 or 3 times. So, just thinking about you and your photography and this museum that is going to be there.
Yes.
What, in your mind, what is the meaning of your contribution to understanding the history of this war, to the people who see this photography that you've created? What's the meaning of that to you?
I have been thinking since I was a child, so I've been thinking for over 80 years of why this marvelous human being. To give you an idea, let's say it's midnight and we look at the universe, billions of these universes, and you would just pick one of them. That's us. We're just a dot. We're so blessed that there is this man, this woman, and love, and children, and growing, creating. It's how this whole universe exists. So what must we do? We must enhance it. We must not fight it. We must not fight ourselves. We must learn that we are not Italians, we're not French, we're not English. You cannot mix the meaning of a piece of land to this. We're totally different. We are humans all over. We have no enemies. Humans have no enemies. The earth is our home. Our sky is ours. The enjoyment of all this universe, it's for us. It's for some of us to grow up and, like Beethoven, create something. The museum.
That's a picture of the museum?
Yes, the palazzo. The city where my father was born, because I was born in Pennsylvania, Greensburg, Pennsylvania. I just made my 90 etc. year. I was born there December 20, 1922. And John gave me a big party. Well, I guess you're going to see the museum some other time. It's not, I swear I put the picture here so that you could see it. Anyway, it's an Italian building. It's a palazzo that the owner, he was a general during World War II in the Italian army, And he didn't have children, so he liked me when I was a little kid, and he left it to me, this big palazzo.
Wow.
Really, and if I don't find it now, I will make sure I will come wherever you are to show you that picture. But, you know, sometimes when you plan things, it's too bad. Maybe if I forget about it.
All right, let's
So
talk.
anyway,
Let's
this
talk
is
about your.
going,
Let's talk about your trip. That's
Yeah.
here. Here's these pictures.
Yeah, that's Frank Lloyd Wright. Everything he built, he designed, that is in a building, and this is the Guggenheim Museum. You'll see, the Guggenheim Museum.
All right, sit down here. Sit down here on
Well,
your
it's
couch and
kinda
let's
warm,
talk.
So I take this off.
All right.
And,
This is Arthur Rosenfield from our LIC, and it's Monday, December 23rd, 2013, and I'm here with Tony Vaccaro, the world famous photojournalist and veteran of war, World War II, and
this is one of the
great
books
friend.
of mine. It's called The Battle of Saint-Malo. And most of the pictures in it, as you can see, that's my picture, my prize-winning picture.
This is a book I haven't seen.
Yes. It means August 1944. The Battle of Saint-Malo from Cancale to Frejel. The liberation of the Côte d'Emeraude, the Merald coast. Mr. Mont-Saint-Jean was the Frenchman whom I met during the war, and dear Tony, this book is the way it is because of you. With all my affection, DM, Dominique Mont-Saint-Jean, the 9th July 93.
What does that below here say? What is that?
I translate that for my children.
Hold that up in front of you so I can get a snapshot.
Yeah, this is the first.
I have some questions.
Yes.
Sit down here.
Now I'm going to
Relax.
show you a few things
All right.
so that you have an idea. Well, this is just that book. That these are all my pictures.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Let me ask some questions.
Yeah.
Tony, you've been away for a couple months, I think now,
Yes. Yes.
and you were in France, and you were in England, and you
England and France.
England and France.
Yes.
And-
I wanted to go elsewhere, but there was just too much there.
You were brought over there by the French government,
Yes, French government.
and that was
everything paid.
to document
A
the.
person was sent here and his wife, and they did a very big. The first thing they did, they put $15,000 in my bank account.
That's very nice of them. But what they had in mind, they wanted you to do some special
Yes.
thing.
So the next thing was they got a first-class passage for me in Queen Mary II. So it was a wonderful vacation, and as I was going to Europe, the French film team did a movie on me, And while the boat was crossing the Atlantic, which I never felt any waving at all, any movement at all, it was standing still. As far as I'm concerned, Queen Mary II doesn't move, it just stands there. And amazing, amazing. So, and I told my story, so that by the time we arrived in Southampton, then we took a ferry to Normandy, and we went to Rennes in Normandy, and that is where I delivered a speech to a couple of thousand people in a huge place. And apparently there are not many people around who can talk, who remember exactly what happened when I, on the morning of June 12, 1944, they just pushed me in the water and I sank to the bottom. And, well, I wasn't going to stay at the bottom. I jumped up for air. Another wave came, pushed me forward. I think I told you this story before. That happened 4 or 5 times. And then the last time, the wave pushed me on the beach of Normandy. And that's how I arrived in Normandy. So I was filled with sand. I put my pack on the beach, rifle, everything. I go back into the water to it was summer, June, so it wasn't cold, the water was warm. And I cleaned myself of the sand. Then we walked away about half a mile over the hill, and I slept. And by now it was like 2, 3 in the morning, so I quickly slept 4 or 5 hours. And then I woke up, and we marched elsewhere. And as we were marching on the road, on the gutter to the right and the gutter to the left, they were all dead soldiers. Foot and helmets, feet and helmets, feet and helmets all the way. That was frightening. And I thought my turn would be any day, But I was wounded the first week in Normandy on my foot. Then I was wounded a week later on the same leg. But the first aid was enough, and my commander, Colonel York, a jewel of a man, he really saved us. Because we had 2 other colonels. They got killed the first day, both of them. And Colonel York came over to replace them, and he saw with victories after victories. He knew how to fight. He knew what war was all about. The others, they had no idea. And they got killed for it. They thought that being in a house is the best place to be. That's the worst place to be, because that's where the German artillery was sending its bombs, you see. So all those colonels, they got killed there, direct hit on the thing. And it was a shame that when the war was over and we had our first reunion in Memphis, Tennessee, and the daughters of these 2 colonels came to talk to me if I met them, what happened. So it was awful to tell them what happened.
Being back there must be difficult. It has to bring back memories for you.
Yes, it's. I am wounded inside. I enjoy life, but I don't enjoy it fully.
Even still, after all these years.
Even still, I am blessed that I am now born in December 22. Now it's December 92. That's 91. years old. I'm still here.
Yesterday was your 91st birthday.
Yeah, I see myself healthy, and somehow I feel that the world wants me to tell these stories, and that's what I will be doing now. I am going to write.
That's fabulous, and you're such a great writer and an artist. And one question I have is, having been back to Normandy again, because you've been there
Yes.
a couple times
Oh,
over the
many
last
times,
the
yes.
last 6 years. You've been there, I think,
Yes.
2 or 3 times. So, just thinking about you and your photography and this museum that is going to be there.
Yes, yes.
What, in your mind, what is the meaning of your contribution to understanding the history of this war, to the people who see this photography that you've created? What's the meaning of that to you?
I have been thinking since I was a child, so I've been thinking for over 80 years of why this marvelous human being. To give you an idea, let's say it's midnight and we look at the universe, billions of these universes, and you would just pick one of them. That's us. We're just a dot. We're so blessed that there is this man, this woman, and love, and children, and growing, creating. It's how this whole universe exists. So what must we do? We must enhance it. We must not fight it. We must not fight ourselves. We must learn that we are not Italians, we're not French, we're not English. You cannot mix the meaning of a piece of land to this. We're totally different. We are humans all over. We have no enemies. Humans have no enemies. The earth is our home. Our sky is ours. The enjoyment of all this universe, it's for us. It's for some of us to grow up and, like Beethoven, create something. This universe.
Say that again, that you create photographs.
I create photographs. I create pictures of this universe. I like to pass on faces to people. Events. Take this kiss, the soldier kissing this little girl. It's not the kiss. It's the act of liberating Europe from Hitler that was killing men. He was killing non-Germans. This is ridiculous. Who the fuck are the Germans? There are no such things.
So that picture to you is a symbol of the liberation
of Europe.
And
yes.
Not this freedom for this child.
That's right. Through the child only offers us the symbol. But behind the act of the soldier and the child, there is the supreme meaning. And that is love. There's love there. There's tenderness there. In fact, the first meeting of this name of this meeting was tendresse, tenderness. Later, I thought it was a greater meaning, which is the manhood of mankind. It's our species. Now, that's a little picture, but if you come here and you see bigger, maybe maybe let me see, should be here. Maybe it's after. It's a glorious picture. Well, actually, I don't have to find it here. You stay right there, and I'm going to show it to you. How beautiful that picture is. There you have an idea.
Okay, hang on. Let me just get a picture.
There are two pictures that came out of World War II. One is the soldiers in the South Pacific on Mount Suribachi lifting the American flag. And this is for Europe. This tells how we liberated Europe from Nazism and created humanity. We kicked Nazism and created this. So,
It's a beautiful thought, Tony.
thank you. Now, I would like you to, I would have to find, I have to see, where do I have it? Where do I have it? Where do I have it? It's here. I'll be right back. Just wait a minute. I have to find something else. It's a 70-year of photography. And it was just last year in Berlin. And it's still up there. Unfortunately, I only have one left. But I have to show it to you as I this is the beginning. This is the airlift to Berlin. Berlin was surrounded by the Russians. We could not go. They wanted to starve Berlin, the Russians. The reason for that is because Hitler starved almost 2 million people in Leningrad. He starved them. He surrounded the town because they were fighting harder than any other town. So he just surrounded, and for 2-3 years they had no food till the whole town starved. They had eaten all the horses, all the pigs, all the mice, they could find. So, and this is, I have this flag, which will go to the museum in Bonefro. And this is...
What's the name of the city that the museum is going to be established?
It's called, it's the village. It's only 800 people in this village, but they have a beautiful palazzo, and it's the palazzo that is a monument.
And the name of that village is?
Bonefro, Bonefro, Bonefro. These are just some of my works. That's Sophia Loren on the cover. This was another exhibition, and this is where I print, right here, where you're sitting. This is right here. My dark room is in there, and here I dry. On this wire, I dry the pictures. And but here you have an idea of We are here in England. Before we left England, we had a last mass. And this is where we landed, the beach where we landed. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. I could not take pictures. And we didn't realize, but right there was this gun, you see, that the enemy kept firing us. They really killed a lot of GIs. And so a week later, I took this picture. I went back and I took this picture. And these were some of our boats that the Nazi sank, and they were just stuck there. And these are some of the scenes that, that's the beach. This is what's called Omaha Beach. From here to here, it's called Omaha. And this, there goes that picture. This girl died last month. So all of these people are dead now. She died at 33, 50 years ago. He died like 10 years ago. She died 2 years ago, and she died 6.
Did you know this soldier?
Yes, Gene Costanzo.
Where was he from?
He was from Pittsburgh, and I was from Greensburg, 60 miles away from each other.
How did you know him?
Well, we met in the war. He said, "My name is Gene Costanzo." So,
what were the circumstances that you were together? What brought you together?
In the same division, in the same battalion, but not in the same company.
Were you on base or in a?
He was in G Company.
Uh-huh.
I was in Headquarters Company, and one day he said something in Italian. Oh, I said, "You're Italian." So I'm Italian too. And we shook hands, and we found out that we really were like, in Italy, our parents were like 40 miles apart. Small world. And also like 10 miles, 20 miles apart, Pittsburgh and Greensburg here too. Coincidences happen in this world. There are, unbelievable.
So when you were in this square together with him, you were there because the two of you were friends, and
when I saw this picture, I was 20 feet away. So, and I see the importance of it. I ran there, and he kissed the girl on that side, then on this side, then on the other side again. In this town, they kissed 3 times in Brittany. So, lucky that third kiss, otherwise I would have missed it. And while running, I ran and bang, and I took the picture. 300 of a second and F8. As I was running, I said it, the Argus C3. Yeah, I gotta show you the camera that took this. Tony didn't take this, the camera took
the camera. I've heard that before.
Yes. So I gotta show it to you. I gotta show it to you.
That's the camera that we took a picture. We took a picture of that in the back, your backyard.
I don't have it here because I don't want that camera to be stolen.
Yeah.
I know I have it locked.
Yeah, we have a picture of it from the day we did the interview in the backyard.
You put it.
And
I love that.
You're holding it up